Hello. In short, is the Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa and the visiting Zimbabwean President Mnangagwa, who is leaving Ghana today. He has been in the country for 3 days. The state visit has led to the signing of bilateral agreements. He has also had the opportunity to visit 2 facilities. One was the Accra Compost and Recycling Plant at Ajin Kotoku. And this morning he has been to the Sweden-Ghana Medical Center for a guided tour. These are part of some of the activities he has been engaged in. There in short is him and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who arrived a while ago ahead of the delegation led by the Zimbabwean president. This will be part of the departure ceremony. We have the Ghana Armed Forces Central Band on parade. He will go to inspect the guard. The anthems of the 2 countries will be played, and eventually he will leave. So in your shot a while ago was the special flight that brought him to Ghana, which is waiting at the tarmac at the Jubilee Lounge, and then the parade is also formed to pay their last respect as part of the departure ceremony. And in there at the Jubilee Lounge, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is having a tete-a-tete. Obviously, it should be a summary of how the Zimbabwean president enjoyed his stay in Ghana. He has had a warm welcome. The first day he was at Kempinski Hotel in Accra, and where he was hosted to a state banquet. Yesterday was a lot of activities. It started from the Peduase Lodge, where they signed a couple of agreements. From the Peduase Lodge, he also visited some facilities. So very shortly, as we wait for him to exit from the Jubilee Lounge, let me walk you through some of the agreements between Ghana and Zimbabwe. Yesterday, some of the agreements centered on trade. It also centered on education, agriculture cooperation, mining and minerals processing. And when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama spoke, he made reference to responsible mining, health and sanitation. And so you recall I made reference to the Accra Compost and Recycling Plant, and then tourism and investment facilitation. These fed into the Permanent Joint Commission plan to scale up practical collaboration between the 2 countries. And so you would notice that these agreements, about 10 of them, were signed between the 2 countries yesterday. So the Foreign Affairs Minister of Zimbabwe and the Foreign Affairs Minister of Ghana also represented us. And some of them were represented by institutional heads. So you see the Minister for Tourism, who signed on behalf of Ghana on the MOU related to tourism and culture. I also remember the Minister for Sports also came through to sign, and then the other stakeholders also played their role. But what is significant is that he has had a 3-day state visit, which has been very, very successful. Apart from that, he has also visited the Sweden-Ghana Medical Center. Yesterday, the two countries spoke extensively about cooperation in health, access to health infrastructure, and how they can tap into the expertise in terms of the provision of such facilities to the people. So, as we speak, what you are watching on the screen now is tete-a-tete between His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the visiting president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, who are having some conversation briefly to wrap up his 3-day state visit. Any moment from now, the two will be seen to be stepping out of the presidential lounge at the Jubilee lounge here at the Accra International Airport to the tarmac, where he would inspect the guard mounted, and then the Armed Forces Central Band is on standby to play the anthems of the two countries as their last honor to President Mnangagwa before he leaves the shores of Ghana. Zimbabwe has been a very good friend of Ghana. When Mnangagwa toured Accra compost plant, he was, for example, accompanied by the chief executive of Jospon Group and other officials. We understand that the bilateral agreement is of interest to the Zimbabweans because they want to tap into the expertise of Jospon, especially with waste management, recycling, and the production of compost for agriculture production. The objective of the waste processing and recycle system, and explore partnership that could help Zimbabwe build similar facilities, part of a joint push on sanitation, green jobs, and circular economy solutions under the 2026 cooperation agreement. So we will shortly be listening briefly to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, excerpts of what he said before. So you, in that shot, you see Jospon Group Chief Executive Mr. Siao Ejapon with his wife standing by him as he signs the MOU between Ghana and Zimbabwe. And we're talking about Zimbabwe tapping into Jospon's expertise and looking at how they can build similar facilities, create green jobs, circular economy solutions under the 2026 cooperation agreement that I spoke about. So before we go back to the Jubilee Lounge to see how the president is getting ready to see off his counterpart from Zimbabwe, we will shortly be listening to excerpts of what President Mahama said after he signed some of, or supervised the signing of some of those agreements as a wrap of the bilateral meeting between the two countries. Let's listen to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama now. And so we understand that any moment from now the leaders will be stepping out. So let's go back to the tarmac where you see the parade formed and waiting patiently for the exit of the president and the Zimbabwean president to the tarmac as they see off the Zimbabwean president. Yesterday we told you a beautiful story about the Peduase Lodge. This is a facility that was built in 1959. This facility, we are told, is a 4-story building. It has a recreational center, it has a swimming pool, we have a fountain that has been designed architecturally to reflect the road from Ayumensa through the hill. So the blue image you see in the picture on the screen is the fountain, and the fountain actually reflects. So the Zimbabwean president, as we speak, is signing the visitors book before he exits, and standing by him is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Just after signing this book, the two leaders will come out of the room, and the president will lead him to the dais. The dais is where he will take the salute. After taking the salute, then he will bid us goodbye and then move into his plane. Today is Good Friday. It's a weekend, an Easter weekend, and so I believe that he's going back home to join especially Christians in Zimbabwe as the world marks the Easter festivities. His Excellency obviously would also be heading towards Kwewu this weekend to join the Kwewu Business Forum. And so it's been a busy week for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, especially starting the week with a number of activities, including office meetings. This week, the Presidential Advisory Group on Economy also had a strategic meeting, which I believe would have centered on the potential impact of the US-Israel Iran war, and of course measures government intends to take to cushion most Ghanaians as the impact begins to bite, irrespective of the fact that the CD has still maintained its strong posturing against the US dollar and other major currencies, and that itself is affecting us. So we'll be going straight to the tarmac as the army begins to pay homage, the last respect in terms of honor to the Zimbabwean president. So when we get there, we'll bring you the sights and sounds of the tarmac area while we witness the departure ceremony. So we will still go back to the Pedriase story. I was talking to you about the fact that it is a presidential lodge. This facility was built by Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The history has it that he deliberately chose this spot as a way of attracting investment towards the Equiapim Ridge area. And today, several years after, if you drive along that stretch, you see several mansions springing up, several estates springing up along the corridor, and that place gives you a perfect overview of the city of Accra. And this is the beautiful road that leads to the lodge. I told you about the fountain inside the Pedriase Lodge, which reflects this beautiful road that you see. We will also be monitoring His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the Zimbabwean counterpart, who is still writing a few memorable notes in the visitors book, as His Excellency waits for him to finish, so that he will now be led to the tarmac for the guard of honor to perform the basic ceremonial duties before he joins the special flight that brought him. But back to the Pedriase Lodge. As I spoke, you saw the beautiful road, and you saw this. You see the tennis court. In fact, it's a recreational area. It's a home away from home. I was there yesterday, and I can tell you that it is a perfect ground just for reflection. And for me, for a visionary leader at the time, 60 years ago, to put up such a magnificent facility, sitting there year on, renovation over the period has kept it in its perfect state, will give you the impression of how beautiful it is for Ghana to have such facilities. The foreign minister also, in short, there is taking position as the dignitaries who have been invited here to bid goodbye to the Zimbabwean president, form their queue to wait to exchange pleasantries. I can imagine what the Zimbabwean president is writing in this book, because you could tell from the statements he made yesterday that he feels at home. At a point he said Ghana should be looking for another woman to replace the former first lady of Zimbabwe, who obviously we knew was the wife of the late President Robert Mugabe. And so whatever he is writing in that book will be a reflection, a summary of his 3-day visit to Ghana, what he saw, his experience, the warm reception, the exchanges, the promises, the advice, the requests from both parties to do the things the two countries work together. On your shot are the scenes of the tarmac area, the special flight that brought the Zimbabwean president. Zimbabwean officials, I'm told over 50 of them who were part of the delegation which arrived here with the Zimbabwean president, have already boarded their flight. The deputy director of state protocol, ACB, and other officials of the state protocol department are seen there having the last aspects of the protocol arrangements for all those dignitaries who are waiting to take their turn as the last set of Zimbabwean nationals who will be saying goodbye. Many of them are working at the Zimbabwean embassy here in Ghana. A few of them were on the flight with the president or came ahead of the president. And so for now, everything is set for the last part of the departure ceremony. The people gathered there are simply waiting for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. This was the scene at the Peduasi Lodge when he arrived, and then before his departure, that area was where he was before. So let's listen to excerpts of what was happening. I'm told we will soon be getting to the tarmac area. So from the shots above Peduasi Lodge, you see the beautiful skies of Accra and the scenes there. The Armed Forces Central Band was present at Peduasi, and they are present here at the Jubilee Lounge of the Accra International Airport. So it's been a beautiful story. It's been a beautiful relationship that has been oiled with the visit of the Zimbabwean president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, who was here for 3 days. When I heard him speak yesterday, you could sense that Zimbabwe is very bitter about how some Western countries treated them, especially over 20 years of sanctions imposed on a developing country because of the interest many of these Western countries have anytime they have relationships with African countries or developing countries. It will look as if their interests matter, and when you breach it, they don't care, and they are ready to crack the whip because they have the muscle to scrutinize you by strangulating your economy till you break down. Zimbabwe does not want to break down. Zimbabwe wants to work with equal partners, like-minded countries. Zimbabwe is thinking of moving on. Zimbabwe is thinking, as Ghana has done over the last couple of years, that countries such as ours must look at leveraging on their resources, improving governance, and then building on the welfare of the people for the peaceful coexistence in the country and outside. So the army the Ghana Armed Forces Central Band is set. I understand that the two leaders are almost wrapping up. You could tell that the Zimbabwean president has written a lot, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has been standing by him for the past 3 to 4 minutes, waiting for him to wrap up on whatever message is leaving behind, so that we can. But we will be telling you much about that. But Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa also summarized the meeting between the two countries yesterday. Of course, he highlighted the key areas where the two leaders signed bilateral agreements. He also spoke extensively about Ghana's readiness. In fact, one thing that has been of interest to many Ghanaians is when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama spoke about the visa-free policy for African countries which wish to visit Ghana. And then let me walk you through some facts about Ghana's new free visas for African policy as announced by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama yesterday. Africans will not pay visa fees. No paying visa fees. Not paying visa fees does not mean you will not go through visa screening. So according to the facts we have, Africans will still have to go through a visa application process like everyone else, just that theirs will be for gratis. Government is also introducing an e-visa policy next month. In fact, this is being introduced to roll out this free visa for Africans policy beginning in May. The free visa for African is a component of the e-visa initiative. All Africans will have to apply for visas through the e-visa platform. The novel e-visa system shall be linked to the Ghana's newly established API PNR system and other international crime database, which allows our consular officers to check the background of applicants and provide appropriate vetting to ensure Ghana's security is not compromised. And still, as part of the free visa for African policy, people with criminal or deemed unsatisfactory with records of such nature will not be admitted. So in your short again, I told you about 4 or 5 minutes ago that the Zimbabwean president has been writing a lot, and I'm sure finally, after a long wait, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama cannot hold how happy he is, and I'm sure he was at least looking at some of the things or the text of what the Zimbabwean president has written. But the two leaders, as we speak, are now stepping out to the forecourt of the Jubilee Lounge, where they will be directed towards the presidential days, where he will take the saluting days, where he will take his last salute. Then would have to leave the airport to board the flight, and so the two leaders will soon step out of the main building of the Jubilee Lounge here at the Kotoka International Airport. The Director of State Protocol, Ambassador Abrokwa Akins, will walk them towards the days, the saluting days, and that will be the beginning of the final session of the departure ceremonies. I know that there are a few officials who are also present to join the departure party, but for now the focus is on the Zimbabwean president and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. It's been a successful 3-day visit. It's been a reunion of two countries with a long history. It's been a relationship that has been given another boost that will see a lot of agreements coming into fruition, agreements that will create opportunities for many Zimbabwean youth, for many Ghanaian youth, because there was this business to business engagements as part of the visit, and this is what we have been witnessing so far. Let's go live to the tarmac and hear what is happening. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is now walking the Zimbabwean president to the special flight that brought him 3 days ago. Embassy staff here of the country Zimbabwe are lined up to bid goodbye to their president, His Excellency Emmerson Mnangagwa, who in 2-3 minutes time should be sitting comfortably on his special flight to take off. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has had a long day with him yesterday, and today I believe that the two leaders are proud that this visit has been successful, and the president is equally grateful to all Zimbabweans resident in this country for supporting this good cause. So Ambassador Grant and other officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs are also taking their turns. Then we have the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who is about the last person to say so. The nice, a warm hug between the two leaders. I wish you safe flight. I wish you all the best. I believe that the opportunity will come for us to meet again. Our friendship will last as our countries continue to bond together. These are my own words, but I can read through the body language of the two leaders. And so there, in short, the Zimbabwean president is now officially leaving Ghana, and in the next minute or two the door of this plane will be shut, and the next few hours he will be airborne back to Harare to be received by his people. So we want to say thank you to as many people who followed the presidency's Facebook, YouTube page, who followed WoezorTV, which has always been your #1 source of any information as it is happening around the presidency, most major events across the country, most current affairs related issues. If you want to watch it as it is unfolding, I believe that most Ghanaians know the source is WoezorTV, and that is where we believe that you can continue to partner us so that we bring service to Mother Ghana. President Mahama and Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa have been in the news over the past couple of days because the two were on the international media platforms for the successful job done at the United Nations General Assembly, and that has been on the lips of many Caribbean nations, many African countries. The Zimbabwean president was very emphatic when he thanked His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for the bold initiative, and of course referencing this to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's support to the liberation movement that eventually led to Zimbabwe's independence, and since then the two countries have been together. And so President Mahama is proud of Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and I believe that many Ghanaians are equally proud of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He has never let Ghana down since he assumed office on January 7, 2025. He has raised the flag of Ghana high. He has been on international platforms. He has spoken to the conscience of world leaders. He has been able to influence world leaders to be able to think along Ghana. And there, the Ghana Armed Forces Central Band and the parade that formed is marching off the parade grounds, which is the tarmac where they paid their last honor to the Zimbabwean president. As they leave, the plane's engine, which are already heating, will gradually taxi on the tarmac, position itself, and will be airborne back to Zimbabwe. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama at the moment can only wait with some one or two officials and wait till the plane takes off the Accra International Airport, and once it's airborne, Ghana's party will retire and His Excellency will head back home. And so it's been a beautiful story, and we are only waiting for the plane to take off, and I will draw the curtain on this live coverage of the 3-day state visit by the Zimbabwean president. So you would see that Ambassador Grant is on your extreme right if you are sitting by your television set, and then following him is one of the chief directors at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we also have the president at the center, flanked by other officials including the Minister for Foreign Affairs. And so we will shortly be wrapping up as the plane takes off or begins to taxi on the tarmac. You can always follow WoezorTV on YouTube, on Facebook, on all their social media handles, because if you want to understand exactly the policies of government, how they are being rolled out, most of the key issues government is addressing, this is a platform where you get it first and you get it live, and the consistency brings on the credibility because you hear it from the horse's own mouth as it unfolds. For the past 3 days, the space on this network has been busy bringing you excerpts of activities involving the Zimbabwean president's 3-day state visit to Ghana. It started with the welcome ceremonies. It went to the Kempinski Hotel where the state banquet was held, to Peduasi Lodge where the bilaterals took place, and this morning back at the Accra International Airport. And so the president will soon be leaving here, but not until the flight is off. The airport attendants are getting ready to signal the pilot to move the plane, and as the red carpet is being rolled out, it should tell you that everything is finished, all is done, and the 3-day visit is over, and Ghana will have to now look at the next stage of its engagements across the international community. Next week, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be traveling to France. As part of his engagement, we understand there will be other activities related to health. It comes just a week or so before he officially commissions the rollover of the free primary health care, which is also very key to some of the policy interventions by this government to improve the well-being of the people. This particular policy is more of preventive measures to scale down the toll of diseases on individuals or communities. Again, the cost of treating patients, even if it will be under the National Health Insurance Scheme or the Bahama Cares or through the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. The reason is that this will target communities, community health nurses, health professionals will be engaging people on activities that they can engage in to prevent calamities, to prevent the spread of communicable diseases, and more so to ensure the people live healthy lifestyles. And so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has been very, very, very busy at work. He has not proven to be a lazy president. He has been seen as a president who has always been on the move, and I see in short the welcome ceremony. These are excerpts of what we have been speaking about, how he was received when his flight touched down, and the activities he went through. This was the Guard of Honor, which was mounted with 21 gun salutes, which is a full Guard of Honor, which was mounted for His Excellency Emmerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe. So it was a very beautiful spectacle for those of us who watched it right as it was unfolding at the Accra International Airport. But for many of you who followed us on television, I believe that the sights and sounds also at least raised the euphoria associated with some of these state visits. Yesterday at Peduase, I understand some Zimbabweans in Ghana work at the facility, and many of them were excited and proud that their president was here, just as His Excellency John Mahama travels, and Ghanaians see him. So in short, finally, the special flight that brought the Zimbabwean president is taking off. It is taxiing on the tarmac to position itself for the final takeoff, and that is how the Ghana-Zimbabwe friendship, as far as this state visit is concerned, is wrapping up. We want to say thank you to all those of you who followed us. Thank you to the production team. It's been long days of hard work just to make sure that Ghanaians, the diplomatic community, which are equally interested in what Zimbabwe is doing in Ghana, have been watching through the lenses of WoezorTV cameras. And so, as the plane prepares to take off, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will wait for his last turn to wave at the plane, as we do symbolically, to say goodbye to Zimbabwe. And so we want to, on this note, say thank you to everybody, and we will wrap up at this stage and come back to you again when there is any major activity involving the presidency.